This is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 5. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord Yahweh our power, and have not been obedient unto his voice. To the Lord Yahweh our power appertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. First off, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahabachakudash. I want to give the honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazak Ba from the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, what I want to go into is being obedient unto the Most High, obedient unto his commandments, ultimately being obedient unto his will, and how important it is, because the reason that our nation is in the state that we're in right now is because we were disobedient. And when we get into the etymology of the word obedient, it's willing to serve someone, willing to fulfill an obligation. And what we were obligated to, when we get into the the promise, or the covenant that we had with the Lord in Exodus 24:7, I believe. When we read that, it says, and he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord Yahweh had said will we do, and be obedient. And hey, I didn't even realize that word was here. But we said that we will be obedient to do all the words that were in the first covenant, and then that covenant was sealed, as we read on, with the blood. And so because of our disobedience, when we read on in that etymology, being obedient, being compliant, to obey, because we weren't compliant, because we didn't fulfill our obligation unto the Lord, those curses were brought upon us, the curses that we still suffered from to this day. And the whole, this lesson stemmed from, the brothers and I going into the book of Baruch. And there's a specific instance of disobedience in the history of our nation that caused us to go through a great suffering, which is the disobedience of our people not submitting to um, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Because when we get into Salakia, as a matter of fact, let's read Jeremiah chapter 27 and verse 4. It says, and command them to say unto their masters, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, thus shall ye say unto your masters, I have made the earth, the man, and the beast that are upon the ground. Right? The Most High is the almighty power. He is the one above all. He exists. He controls everything. It says, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. Now, this is an important part about what we're about to go into. The Lord says that he has given the earth, that which he has made, into the hand of who he deems it should go into. If it's the Lord's will that it goes into a certain person's hand, that's who is supposed to, have it at the time. And who is supposed to have it at this time? In verse 6, and now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him. So when we go, back into the time of the Babylonian Empire and Nebuchadnezzar ruling over, the known earth at the time, the Babylonian Empire being that, supreme power in the land, that was the Lord's will that Nebuchadnezzar should rule. And what does it say? And all nations shall serve him, and his son and his son's son, until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And what does it say? And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish. said the Lord Yahweh, with the sword and with the famine and with the pestilence until I have consumed them by his hand. Now, you know, our nation, when Nebuchadnezzar, came against um Israel, you know, uh, uh, our people didn't submit themselves to him. We fought back against Nebuchadnezzar when he was coming up, when he was, putting us into subjection. And what did that cause? When we go back into Baruch chapter 2 and verse 1, it says, therefore the Lord Yahweh hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son, and the flesh of his own daughter. And what is this talking about when, our nation was eating the flesh of their own kids, and, great plagues was coming upon them? This is speaking about the first siege of Jerusalem, which was brought upon us by Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. That came upon us because we were fighting back against Nebuchadnezzar. And so we were sieged, and Jerusalem was destroyed, as well as the temple. And so that came upon us because of our disobedience to the Lord's commandment, and so like I guess I didn't really explain verse 3. The reason why we were eating our kids is because in a siege, you're not getting any food or drink into your city. Once you're sieged, the enemy has you surrounded. And so you can't get out, and you can't go out and get the things that you need. So everything that's in the city is what you got until it run out. And once it run out, you ain't going to be able to go out to get, more food, more water, or more supplies of anything, be at risk of running into the enemy because they have you surrounded. And so famine comes in when you're being sieged, because it's a long process of the enemy waiting you out. And this is why our people started eating the flesh of their kids. And when we read in verse 4, it says, moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord had scattered them. And so we were ashamed. We were ashamed in the land. We were a desolate people, a downtrodden people. And it all came because of our disobedience. It all came because we were, not, we weren't willing to fill the obligation of serving the Most High Yahweh. When we go down into the etymology of obedience, it's the practice or virtue of submission to a higher power or authority. And there's a submission that has to come when you are serving a higher power or authority, especially the Most High, because you can kind of get into the mindset of our people when Nebuchadnezzar was coming against us, to where they probably didn't want to allow a heathen king to rule over them, or they didn't want to just give up and go into captivity under anybody. But you got to submit unto that command that the Lord gave, that when he said, hey, when Nebuchadnezzar comes, serve him. This is what I'm telling you to do. Everybody that Nebuchadnezzar comes against, I've given the earth into his hand. So when he's ruling, you in subjection toward him, and do it willingly. And if you don't, there's going to be a great destruction that comes upon you. And so even if, you can try to fathom, a logical thought or a good reason why not to be obedient to the Lord's command, it was still, behoove us to follow it anyway, even if you don't want to let, a heathen rule over you, or, willingly subject yourself into defeat and slavery unto your enemy. The Lord said, do it. That goes into, the situation with Saul, because in First In 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 18, let's read it. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed." Right. So the Lord gave Saul the command to go against the Amalekites and destroy everything, destroy every man, woman, and child, destroy all the animals, burn everything, don't leave nothing. That's what the Lord told Saul to do. But if we read on, it says, "Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord?" Right. What Saul decided to do was, it's gonna get on. It's gonna get into it. And Saul said unto Samuel, "Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites." So right there, he didn't obey because he kept the king alive. And what else does it say? "But the people took of the spoiled sheep and oxen." They took the sheep and oxen. They took spoils from the Amalekites, and the Lord said to destroy all of it. But he gave a reason why. What was that reason? It says, "The chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh thy power in Gilgal." And so what Saul said is that he took the best of the sheep, the best of the oxen, the best of the animals, the best of the spoils, so that he could sacrifice them unto the Lord, which on its own, that's a good reason. He's saying, I didn't want to destroy all this, good stuff we had, that they had sitting around, that they had right for the taking after we destroyed the people. We was going to sacrifice this unto the Lord. But the Lord said clearly and directly to destroy all of it. So in verse 22, and Samuel said, "Had the Lord Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." And to hearken is to listen, to bow your ear, to truly hear or listen to what someone's telling you and then do it. Let's see what the word obey is in the blue letters. Get the Hebrew for it, which is Strong's H8085, which is Shammai, which means to hear, listen to, obey. And let's skim through this. To hear with attention or interest, to listen to give heed, to obey, be obedient. And there was one more thing that I wanted in this etymology. When we go down to the etymology of the word obey, which is to carry out the commands of someone, submit to a command, rule, etc. Be ruled by, do one's duty. So the Lord will give us a duty, and to apply this unto ourselves, we can get in a mindset to where within whatever we are supposed to be compliant or obedient to, that the Lord has, given us, we can come up with a good reason why we shouldn't, or an excuse why we shouldn't, or anything. And at the end of the day, we got to remember that the whole reason our nation is in the situation that they're in right now is because of our disobedience to the Lord. Every time that, well, I won't say every time, but a lot of times when men in the scriptures were in a jam is because they didn't listen to the Lord. They didn't listen to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. If we go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 15, where Yahweh Shai was speaking, and it says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand." And what's that abomination of desolation speaking about? That's when this is speaking about the second, the second temple being destroyed and the second siege of Jerusalem done by the Roman Empire in 70 AD. And Yahweh Shai said, when these things come, and what does he say in verse 16? "Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes." So he's saying, when this destruction is coming, flee Judea, flee into the mountains, flee into the wilderness. Don't go back into the city. Just leave And you had those who listened to Yahushai, who were following Yahushai and obedient unto his commandment, and they left, they fled, like he said to do. But then you had those who stayed in Jerusalem, that stayed in Judea, and they didn't listen. And what happened? That siege came against them, and this siege was, you could say it was even worse than the first one. There was the same situation going on. Our people were sieged, they were waited out. You had another famine that happened. Basically our people got defeated and destroyed. Our temple was destroyed again. But it was all the will of the Lord at the end of the day. But my point in bringing this out is that Yahushua gave the command, leave. When this is about to happen, flee Judea, because the Lord is sending this destruction. And I'm telling you this so that you can avoid it. And you had some of our people who didn't, And so I want to grab this right here, 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 20. Or actually, no, we're going to grab Amos chapter 3, verse 7 first. It says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And his secret is speaking about, his will. The Lord's plans, he has revealed it unto the prophets. And the reason I bring this out is because the Lord will speak through his prophets. He will give commands. He will give the different things that, our people, or that we should listen to through his men of the Lord. Just like when he commanded Israel to, be subservient unto Nebuchadnezzar. The reason why, or Salaki, not the reason why, but the way in which he delivered that message was through Jeremiah the prophet. So just like today with us prophets, going out on the highways and byways, putting up these videos, telling our people to repent, giving the message that, Esau is about to come down with great wrath, giving the message that Yahushua is going to return soon, that 2/3 of our people are going to be put to death. That's the Lord's secret that he has revealed unto us, that we are, blowing the trumpet and letting our people know how they should be operating, what they should be doing. And it would, people should want to obey that, because at the end of the day, when we give those warnings, it's, the Lord doing it through us. It's not of us. The Lord is speaking through us. And so it's, those who are of the 2/3, those who are destroyed in these times to come, that don't receive salvation, that don't make it to the end, it's going to be because they were disobedient to the warnings, because they didn't take heed. Let's get to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 20. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord Yahweh your power, so shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper. If you listen to his prophets and you follow the command that they are giving through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you will prosper. You will know the correct way to go. You will know the right thing to do to, be confirmed in your steps, because the Lord will give the warning. The Lord will tell you the right thing to do. He will guide you in the right direction. We just have to listen to it. Just like us who are in this truth, to make it, to bring it on a more personal level, like our apostles and elders, these men were appointed to be in the positions that they were, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. And, this body was set up by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai to perform his will. And so when we go back into, obedience, the etymology of it, what did it say? The practice or virtue of submission to a higher power or authority. The Lord has set up higher powers and authorities within this body to us to give us certain commands, give us certain things that we should be obedient to. And it's all through the Lord. Just like when the apostle Tahar gave the command that, we shouldn't be going out to clubs or shouldn't be going out to bars, these different, or the command not to wear, fatigues on the highways, and any of the decrees that he puts out there is through the spirit and power of the Lord. Because at the end of the day, what did it say in Amos 3:7? The Lord revealeth his secret unto the servants, the prophets. So the Lord puts the spirit in his men to put out different orders like that, to put out different decrees that when they come, we should take heed unto them. Because at the end of the day, it's the Lord wanting us to be obedient to that command, to that decree. Even us in the camps, our camp heads, when they give us certain things to do and certain things that we should be working on and all these different things, it's the Lord giving us those things, then it will behoove us to be obedient unto them. Because disobedience is one of the greatest banes of our nation. It is one of the greatest things that we have always struggled with, and that has caused us to be in, a terrible position. So Khan, I hope this lesson was edifying. I just wanted to go into the importance of obedience and how we can take from these examples in the scriptures of our nation not being obedient, how it applies today and how we can apply it to ourselves. I hope this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Charkadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Hey, shalom.